they have a problem with themselves, they need to first solve that. Like first you need to be happy with yourself, with your own company, and then you can go and enjoy with a group of people or friends or anything.
Family also has certain expectations from their children, but when we have grown out to be different, that those expectations are not met and they stop understanding us. So we should move into that concept of chosen family where
loneliness might hit people only when they're old, like in this setup, and that is very late for them to understand how to handle
That's
it.
very true. Because otherwise, back in the days, if you see, there was no concept of depression, no concept of feeling lonely as such, or anything like that. They just used to work through it. That was their thing. If you think your life is not in your control, just do something. When you feel that thing lagging within your own inner circle, it's time you need to find those people who actually appreciate you, not just because, let's say, you might be bound by your blood, or even the relationships that you've chosen might be your own, but then when it doesn't support you, doesn't nurture you, it's high time you move from it for your own well-being and the well-being of them as well. Because again, if it doesn't work out, it's going to cause those rifts, and it's no good to anybody.
There's something called chosen family.
Yeah.
It's not only we might have to start stepping out of the concept that my family has to understand me or love me. Like it's not like that anymore, because all of us are changing in different ways, and people who, family also has certain expectations from their children or their younger generation. But when we have grown out to be different, that those expectations are not met and they stop understanding us. So we should move into that. Maybe, like, if it works, we can move into that concept of chosen family where friends, or we all have like certain relatives who understand us, certain aunt or certain someone in our family who actually understand where we are coming from, and maybe we can depend more, we can take that small calculated risk of depending on them for emotional support.
Correct, but I still believe that emotional well-being doesn't come from being dependent on anybody else's beliefs or their choices. Again, emotional well-being is yours and they have theirs. If they have a problem with anything related to you, then you can sort it out to an extent, but if it is not acceptable, then it is easier to let go of it than stretch on it. So
I think what you said is true. Like, when someone feels lonely or when they have an issue with themselves, sometimes they think, oh, if I find some people or some friends or anything, that might help me solve it. But that's not true. When they have a problem with themselves, they need to first solve that. Like, first you need to be happy with yourself, with your own company, and then you can go and enjoy with a group of people or friends or anything. So it comes from within, rather. Like, you can, like she said, you can be with your own family and you can still feel lonely. So it kind of comes from within also. Like, the problem kind of, you need to sort it out and then go and like try to find people who understand you, or the group for you. So yeah,
true.
And also it's like it's not a constant. We can fall in and out of loneliness. It's not like we are always lonely or we're always not lonely, and we have to be concerned only if it is becoming a habit or that's our go-to kind of thought process of, okay, maybe uh, I have to be lonely, or I have to be, this is meant to be for me. Yeah. That if that is the kind of mindset that we are moving into, maybe that then we should be concerned. But otherwise, I think we all move in and out of loneliness once in a while. It happens. It's not always white and black. I feel so.
We should, like you said, we keep going in and out of loneliness. The thing is, when we feel lonely, we should, sometimes what we do is we try to run away from it by, getting way too busy or just randomly meeting people. Yeah, rather than addressing it. Trying to understand that it's a normal feeling. It's not something that is bad, and we have to address it in the right way. We'll be able to handle it in a better way.
That's why emotional quotient is extremely important for people to have. You need to process your emotions well. I think that is a bit lacking in most of the Indian households. But these days, I think it's becoming better with Gen Zs and Gen Alphas coming in. But otherwise, back in the days, if you see, there was no concept of depression, no concept of feeling lonely as such, or anything like that. They just used to work through it. That was their thing. If you think your life is not in your control, just do something. It sounds very absurd to say it or listen to it right now, but then that's the way it was. And some of them have dealt with it that way, and it's worked out for them. And for some, it hasn't. But back in the days, because it wasn't so out in the open to even talk about it, nobody knows about the ones who struggled with it. We just know about the ones who have dealt with it and have come out of it, but not the ones who have struggled and gone downhill because of it. So nowadays, because it's becoming easier for people to talk about it, and there are measures that people are taking for this to subside and all of that, I think it's being addressed to better, and that's something that all generations need to have. Emotional quotient, or understanding your own emotions, than expecting somebody else or an outsider to understand it for you. It's easier to do it yourself. So yeah.
Another thing, maybe you can include this in the previous part only. What I've seen in parents, like even new parents and old parents, is that if their child, I think that's why loneliness starts from a very early age. It might start for some people at a very early age, because people don't allow their children to play on their own or do anything on their own. In general, they're like, why are you alone? Just go play with others, interact with others. They kind of force that interaction. Sometimes, I mean, most of the time, kids automatically go and play with their own friends, like people of their age. But sometimes it is like forced on them. They are not encouraged to address their own emotions, or sit with themselves for some time, or play on their own, think about something on their own, do something on their own. That is not encouraged. It's always looked at as something that is not good. You should not be alone. You should not sit with yourself. It's very bad. Why are you alone? So that is, I think that should change. People should start encourage. I mean, they should not force their child to, if the child is happy playing alone, they should not force it to, go play with your friends, or have forced interactions. Talk to that auntie.
I think parents think that as a social barrier that the child might be developing, because it's not wanting to connect with the society and the social setup. That's why they freak out and they're like, what if my child ends up being alone? And they just push upon it to.
I feel the society is only structured in a way that you are never left alone.
Yes,
Like
correct.
from when you were a child, there'll be someone with you all the time. School, and then college, and then they force you to get married as soon as you complete studies. They don't give you that time where, okay, you're on your own, let's try to figure it out. Maybe nowadays,
Independent living is not there.
yeah.
Living alone thing is not really encouraged.
Yeah, I mean, even abroad, they'll kick you out after 18.
Yeah.
You have to figure your life out. Here, they'll keep you until you're married, and then they'll kick you out. So yeah, you're not even alone after marriage. So there's no point.
Yeah.
Loneliness might hit people only when they're old, like
Yes.
in this setup, and that is very late for them to understand how to handle
That's
it.
very true, because then it's like you were there with people all through your life, and during the most crucial part, or towards the end of your life, or essential part of your life, you have nobody, and that's when it hits you. This is what happens when you don't know how to live with yourself.
Yes, that living with yourself is not kind of encouraged here. That's why people, even after being with everyone, they feel lonely and
Yeah, some people are even scared to be alone.
yeah.
They are like, what should I do? There is nothing. I need to do something. They just don't want to sit, because I've actually not seen anybody, even us for that matter, I've never seen anybody just sit and do nothing. If you're sitting and doing nothing, they think you binge watching something is sitting and doing nothing. No, that's not sitting and doing nothing. Sitting and doing nothing is literally not doing anything and just being with your thoughts. It's very difficult these days. People are trying meditation and all of that, but only they know what they're thinking about when they are meditating. So it's not blank. Nobody's blank these days. So that's why it's becoming very difficult.